Hey folks, it's Tom, your frugal prepper. I want to talk about my top 10 favorite mechanics tool deals at Walmart. There's many other deals to be had at Walmart, and I think there's many decent quality tools there that will get the job done. Other than these happen to be my favorite little top 10 picks at Walmart. Um, just went through it, took some pictures of stuff that I own and like, and figured I'd share. So number 10 is going to be this little mirror and magnet, $3.44. You can't go wrong. I mean, it's an inspection mirror and a magnet. The mirror's a little bit bigger than those little cheap, chintzy ones that you find at the front counter up at like AutoZone or whatever. The magnet's good and strong, bright green handle, so you can find it when you sit it down and you're looking for it again. I actually like these. I bought a couple sets of them. They've worked really well. You just can never have enough pickup magnets, especially. Number 9 is this door panel remover tool. It's for more than removing door panels. Let me tell you, it works great for that, but you can use it on all the different types of body clips, all the little like connectors, Christmas tree connectors and stuff that you need to pull out when you're trying to get wiring loose. It just works great for all that kind of stuff. I highly recommend having one of these. I didn't get a picture of the price on this, but I'm pretty sure it's like $3.96. Even if it's a little more than that, it's a great tool. It's worth having. I'm sure that this is not made in the same place or whatever, but it looks identical as far as the setup to the Lyle tool, which like Advanced sells that, and it's like $9 or $10. So this is much cheaper. It works really well, and it's just a little tool that you use for prying stuff with. So I recommend picking this up. So number 8 is going to be this Hyper Tough Dead Blow Hammer. Now I know you're saying, I get the one at Harbor Freight. It might be like the same price. It's around the same price. But Harbor Freight's got a lifetime warranty, and you're right. You're not going to bring this back into Walmart 5 years later and get another dead blow hammer exchanged out for it. I do like this bright green color. The plastic seems as good, or maybe even just a little bit thicker on the ends than the Harbor Freight version. But if it's 1 in the morning or you're not by a Harbor Freight and you need a dead blow hammer, I just really don't think you can go wrong with this Hyper Tough dead blow hammer. It's a dead blow hammer. There's nothing real special about it. So that'll bring us to number 7. And number 7 is going to be this Hyper Tough 12-inch carbon steel hacksaw blade, made in the USA, logo right there. These are really good blades. I like to use a cutoff wheel. I like to use a sawzall, something else to cut bolts and stuff off with usually, but there are times when you just can't get in there with a cutoff wheel, and having a hacksaw blade can be a lifesaver. And 2 blades for $1.97. These things really cut a long time. They stay sharp, but don't bend easy. When they do kind of bend over, they go right back into shape. These are really good hacksaw blades for the money. So that'll bring us to number 6. And number 6 is going to be these Torx and Hex Bits. Actually, Mark Fox sent me a set of these in a little tool package he sent me a while back, and I've really used the crap out of them. This whole top part of the packaging with the label, I just cut that off, and I kept the bottom part, the holders, and that works really well to keep them organized in the toolbox. So you got your metric, your standard ones, and then you got your Torx bits over here at $10.83 for the Hex, $19.84 for those Torx. You can't go wrong. The only thing that's a little bit annoying about these is that they stamp the size of them on the actual Hex part of the bit instead of on the chrome part, and a lot of times it's far enough down in there that you can just like the T dash and not the number, and the same with the Hex bits. That's a little annoying. Stanley should probably fix that and just stamp the sizes on the socket part of the bit. However, I usually just try all the sizes till I find the one that fits. It's not often that I'm like, oh, I need a T15. I know this is a T15. But sometimes it does happen, and that can be a little annoying. You just have to stop and look extra close, or you just try it till it fits. But you can't go wrong if you need a set of Torx or Hex Bits. You can't go wrong with these. Now, the next thing is going to be this Stanley 145 piece set. That's going to be number 5 here. And just because I bought this 145 piece set back in 2004 and it has not changed much. I still have just about everything from this set. Although I've kind of retired from using the Stanleys as my everydays because Mark Fox sent me a nice set of 3/8 Duralast sockets that I've been using, and those things have been awesome too. These Stanleys have been great sockets. I don't think I've broken any of them. I've kind of mixed them into other tool sets in the cars and the shed, stuff like that now, but they're all still around. I still use the crap out of them. The wrenches I still use on a regular basis. They're a little bit longer than a like standard box-in Craftsman McJunkie wrench, you know. However, you know, these are just like a really good, smooth, polished chrome. They feel good. I really like these wrenches. I think if I do go ahead and replace my whole set of combination wrenches, I'll replace them with some Stanley wrenches because they've worked really well for me. The ratchets in here are not great. I mean, they're not terrible. They're usable, but they're like a 32 tooth ratchet. They're a little rough, a little loose. Hey, if you're just DIYing it occasionally, I think these ratchets will probably get the job done for you. But if you're going to try to wrench to make some money, you might want to invest in a better ratchet. But even just the sockets, $68 for this kit, you just can't go wrong. This is what I kind of started building my major toolkit out of back in the day. So next we're going to cover just their sockets in general. You can buy their sockets just as socket sets. I really like these sockets here, where the small ones are kind of more of a mid-length than a full deep socket. And even the full length ones in these sets aren't quite as long as the full length sockets. These have really saved my bacon a few times here, just trying to get into a certain spot where I have a nut on a bolt, so I need some depth. They kind of work like a mid-length, but they're just a hair longer than my mid-lengths. So they have really worked well for me. I highly recommend these two sets, or if you just get in metric, just the one set. But $18.74 is a deal, and I don't think you can go wrong with any of the Stanley sockets. So number 3 is going to be this socket wrench. This is an extendable 3/8 drive locking flex head socket wrench with a push button release. It's not great as far as tooth count. I believe it's a 32 tooth. You know, it's not terrible though. But what I love about this is that handle comes out, it gets nice and long. And I have stood on this thing breaking loose like axle bolts and stuff like that. Really put the beans to it, as Erico would say. And it's held up, and it's been about 3 years now that I've used it. When I want something cheap, I don't want to break my nice Carlisle ratchet or risk damaging it. I want something cheap that I can really put a pipe on and abuse. I will choose this ratchet every time. $22 is the price on that guy. I think I bought mine when it was still $19.99, but it's still just, I think, a great deal for a ratchet if you need something with some torque that you can kind of use like a breaker bar. Okay, so number 2. This is going to be the Hyper Tough pry bars with the striking cap. Don't get this stuff with the green handles. That's junk, and that's probably going to snap off when you're prying on it and hurt you. If you know what these are, you'll be happy to see them again, because Sears used to carry these, and the new Stanley Craftsman, of course, doesn't have these. These are made by Wildy Tool, and they will actually have a little W stamped on them on the bar, and they're, of course, you again see the Made in USA label. These are just some really good pry bars that you can beat and abuse. It sucks that they don't have the great big super long one that Sears carried. They just got this. These first three sizes were in their little 3-pack, and then they had this one separate, and they had a super long one that I have nicknamed Excalibur. I have the Sears ones of these, but they're the same company, same pry bar. But you can really, do some prying with these things, and I have really stood on them, pried on them, jumped up and down on them, and they work really well. They're not chipped, they're not bent, not hurt. So you can't go wrong picking these up, and it's hard to find them. And if you buy them direct from Wildy Tool, they're going to cost you a whole lot more money. I was really happy to see these. And my number one favorite tool from Walmart. Some of you may laugh. I use this tool all the time, and I love it. Boom. It's the 8-volt drill. And you're saying, what? Now, I actually have one model back from this. It's weird. I had the early model of this, which had a funky little AC charger like this with a funky plug on it that was weird shaped. I used that one, burn it up. And then I got another one, and those didn't come with the charger. They had a USB port in the back to charge them, and that's the one I'm still using. And I really loved that option because I'm able to charge it in my car from the cigarette lighter. Now they've gone back to the AC adapter again, but with a normal plug instead of the funky plug. But you can get a little cheap power inverter from Harbor Freight and charge this up on the go. I keep this with my Mobile Mechanic and Loadout in my Equinox, so that when I need a drill, I got a little wire brush I can throw in there. I got some drill bits. I got some spade bits. I just got some of the basics that I need when I need something that'll turn to clean off a battery connection or something. And it's light. It's portable. It's got plenty of torque, but it doesn't have a real high speed. But you can get the job done with it, and it's $24. I just think that having a little handy drill driver like this, super, super handy to have, just to throw in your car and take it around with you. So I just included this as number one because it's something that I use all the time. When I'm helping somebody hang curtains, when I need to wire brush off a cable connection on a starter for a car that won't start, or when I need to drill a hole at work and I just want to grab the drill out of the back of my car real quick. It just comes in super, super handy. Again, I wouldn't recommend this for an everyday drill in your full-time toolbox, but for something to throw with your mobile set, I think it's just an awesome choice. I've used one and burned it up. I've used the crap out of the second one. It hasn't burned up yet. It's not going to be the best endurance, last forever kind of stuff, but I think it's definitely built better than that Warrior branded lithium drill or whatever. And I like it because the battery's just built right in the handle. You don't have all these different batteries and stuff to deal with. I just think it's a great little drill. Anyway, that's it. Let me know what you think. Let me know other things that you think are a great deal at Walmart that you might have bought. Or let me know if you think I'm completely wrong and Black & Decker drills are junk and I shouldn't waste my money on that. I'll talk to y'all later. This is Tom, your Frugal Prepper.